Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be presenting a few different ways to visualize mode shapes as they appear across the fretboard. A major scale is constructed with 7 notes or scale degrees, and each note can act as a different starting point or focal point for a new scale. The unique scale and sound associated with each starting point is called a mode. For instance, in the key of G major, if we predominantly outline the note G, then we are playing in G major's first mode, G Ionian. If the music highlights the sound of the second scale degree of G major, we create A Dorian. Linking the modes to their respective scale degrees will help in memorizing their specific order. This order, by the way, is how the mode shapes ascend horizontally across the fretboard. The first way we can visualize these mode shapes is in these 6-note 2-string boxes. This layout is helpful because it creates uniformity for finding the most important notes in a mode. Because each shape starts with the pointer finger on the root, we can easily find where all remaining chord tones exist within the box. In the second example, the scale degrees 2, 4, and 6 from the parent scale G major form the root, third, and fifth of the Dorian mode's starting chord. You could also think of these notes as the arpeggio for the minor 2 chord in G major. The difference, however, between these two distinctions is that a mode acts as a key center with the other chords orbiting it, whereas the 2 chord in G major is used to create temporary motion. A good thing to be aware of is that mode shapes are the same across the fretboard regardless of major or minor keys. The only difference is that minor keys start the mode order with the Aeolian mode built on the first scale degree, as major keys start with Ionian. Now that we've discussed some theory, let's look at how these shapes connect vertically on the fretboard. Because we have 6 strings on a standard guitar, we can stack 3 mode boxes when we start from the low E string. These resulting quote-unquote big mode shapes are what most people refer to as the 3-note per string scale patterns. As we ascend from the low E string, the mode order goes backwards from our original box shapes, and as we descend from the high E string, it goes forward. For the big Ionian shape, this means we start with Ionian 1, followed by Locrian 7, and we conclude with Aeolian 6 on top. Another important tidbit is that all shapes on the guitar are offset by 1 fret to the right as we travel from the G string to the B string. This is especially true when starting a big mode shape from the A string, because it will split whatever box shape sits on the G and B strings. Another useful way we can visualize modes is as simplified 3-note patterns. Notice the mode order that generates when we do this. By focusing on the first 3 notes of each mode, we can make connections for how our original 2-string box shapes are formed. For instance, the top half of the Ionian box shape is the first 3 notes of the Lydian shape. So if we memorize the modes in relation to their scale degrees, this means we will always know that the 4th scale degree sits above our root note. By learning the modes in this fashion, we can make similar connections all over the fretboard that we can then use to reference our location. If you'd like a copy of the diagrams from this episode, a PDF is linked in the description. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will do my best to get back to you. I also have a free practice ebook available at my Patreon page featuring 42 custom worksheets that focus on the foundational techniques of both hands individually and combined, if you're interested. That concludes today's episode. I really appreciate your viewership, and until next time, take care everyone.